In every era, power has its architects, men in suits, generals, billionaires, presidents. But in the digital age, chaos has architects too. They don't build empires, they don't run governments, and they don't stand behind podiums. They build disruption. And from the shadows of the internet, a decentralized force emerged, with no leader, no headquarters, no official membership, just an idea. An idea that anonymity could be weaponized, that ordinary individuals could challenge corporations, financial giants, even entire nations. They didn't sign their names, they signed one word: anonymous. This is the story of the architects of digital chaos. They had no offices, no budget, no official structure, but they had something far more dangerous: mass coordination of anonymous individuals united by the same idea. It all began on the forum 4chan, a place where identity did not exist, where everyone was anonymous, and where collective consciousness emerged from chaos, irony, and internet culture. What started as trolling and digital jokes quickly evolved into something much more serious, because when thousands of people act under the same name, the line between joke and movement begins to disappear. The turning point came in 2008, when Church of Scientology tried to remove compromising content from the internet. But instead of silence, they received resistance. Anonymous launched coordinated DDoS attacks, overloaded phone lines, and turned digital protest into a global phenomenon. And then something happened that changed the rules. People took to the streets, wearing masks inspired by the film V for Vendetta. The internet spilled out of screens into the real world, and for the first time it became clear that this was no longer just a group of hackers, but a symbol. 2 years later, when WikiLeaks began publishing classified documents, and companies like PayPal, MasterCard, and Visa blocked financial flows, Anonymous launched Operation Payback and demonstrated just how vulnerable the digital infrastructure was. Websites went down, systems were overloaded, and the world realized that a decentralized online mass could challenge the most powerful financial institutions on the planet. During the Arab Spring of 2011, as protests shook Tunisia and Egypt, Anonymous attacked government websites and helped activists bypass censorship, blurring the line between hackers and political actors. For some, they became digital freedom fighters; for others, criminals destabilizing systems. But one thing was undeniable: they had influence. But who are they really? Anonymous is not a traditional group. There is no leader, no headquarters, no formal membership. Anyone who participates using their tools or joins their operations can be considered anonymous. They are a decentralized collective of hackers, activists, and digital warriors, individuals united by anonymity and a shared philosophy, not by hierarchy or profit. Why do they do it? The motivations vary, but the main drivers are opposition to power and censorship, fighting for freedom of information, exposing corruption, supporting activists under repressive regimes, and sometimes simply demonstrating the vulnerability of centralized systems. They act for ideas, not money. Their belief is that anonymity can be weaponized and that ordinary individuals can challenge giants if they act together. Who stops them? While powerful, they are not invincible. Governments, law enforcement, and corporations constantly try to stop them. The FBI, Interpol, and other international agencies monitor operations, identify members, and make arrests. Corporations harden their cybersecurity to prevent DDoS attacks, data leaks, and hacks. Laws against cybercrime impose heavy penalties. Yet, because of their decentralized nature, Anonymous cannot be fully controlled. New waves of hackers, individual actors, and factions continue their operations, even as others are arrested or prosecuted. However, the anonymity that gives them power also brings weakness. Without hierarchy or central control, anyone can act in the name of Anonymous, leading to fragmentation, internal conflict, and infiltration. Still, every time the world enters a new crisis, the name resurfaces. Attacks on extremist groups, leaks of police or corporate data, and messages directed at authoritarian regimes. Anonymous endures as a symbol, as a mask anyone can wear, as a reminder that in the digital age, power is no longer reserved exclusively for governments and corporations. In a world where surveillance spreads, data becomes currency, and algorithms shape reality, anonymity becomes a form of resistance. And somewhere, in the quiet of a room lit only by a screen, someone is still writing code, believing that the system is never completely unbreakable. Anonymous was never just a group of people, but a concept. The concept that a decentralized mass can become the architect of chaos, and that in the digital age, ideas, once unleashed, can never truly be stopped.